Good morning, Too Cool Stamping friends. I am so excited to be with you here this morning on our live class. We do this every week at 9 a.m. Eastern Time here on my Too Cool Stamping Facebook page. So please join us every week. So I wanted to start out, this is Angie Leach, by the way, and obviously my name is Too Cool Stamping for my business, but I wanted to let you know about a few things while we're waiting for our friends to join the video. So it's a brand new month. Excitement is brewing in the Stampin' Up! World because demonstrators are able to pre-order from the holiday catalog. And so I haven't gotten my order in yet, but I will be doing that later this afternoon, and I'm so excited to get started creating things and getting my hands on all of the new holiday catalog items. So all of those are available to demonstrators only, but the good news is we have the second month of our extra starter kit special going on. That means if you're not a demonstrator, you can be one, and it's a really awesome deal right now. So if you just purchase a starter kit, it's only $99 plus tax. You get free shipping on that. And listen to this, you can select $155 worth of product for just that $99. That is amazing. It's $30 more than it normally is any other day of the year. But that means you can get a lot of things on your wish list. So you get $155 worth of product for that $99 kit, plus you get a $10 bonus coupon that you can use next month. So on an order as a demonstrator, you're going to be able to get 20% off anything that you order because you'll have that demonstrator discount. Plus you'll get that $10 bonus coupon to help you out as well. So it's an extra good deal. I love it when it's in twos. So that is going on right now. And the segue is holiday catalog. Obviously you'll be able to order if you're a demonstrator, but you can actually select holiday catalog merchandise on your starter kit order. So when you're selecting that $155 worth of product, if you want to start purchasing from the holiday catalog as a pre-order, you can do that. So you don't have to be a demonstrator yet. As you're buying the kit, you can get those items. So if you're interested, message me and I'll send you a link to our holiday catalog. You can make your own wish list and put that starter kit order together right now. It can be holiday order items, holiday pre-order items, or any items that are current in the catalog. So that is really fun. Also, don't forget, last month was our bonus coupon earning month, and then this is our redemption month. So we can redeem all of those bonus coupons that we have earned in July. So if you have earned any of the bonus coupons, you earned a $5 coupon for every $50 order. You should have gotten an email with those bonus coupons for every $50 order that you placed. You should have a different bonus coupon code, and then you can go in now to any order and use those bonus coupons. So that is awesome. You can actually if you wanted to take advantage of the starter kit, you can't use the bonus coupons on the starter kit because it's already an amazing deal, but you can, once you are a demonstrator and go in and place your first order, you can use them on your demonstrator order along with that 20% off, and that is really going to save you some money. So this is a really good time to save if you've already earned those bonus coupons. If you need any help with the redeeming part of the bonus coupons, just let me know. It should be pretty obvious on your shopping cart page. There's a place that says manage coupon codes, and you'll just copy and paste the coupons that you have from your email. And if for some reason, if you've lost your email, I'm not sure if we can get it back. They do treat them like cash, so you really need to hang on to them. But if for some reason you never received one, if you're having some kind of problem, just let me know and I'll see what I can do. Okay, so we have a few people here watching this morning live. Thank you for joining us. I love that you're spending some time with us this morning. I'm really excited about today because we're going to do a little segment on some of the laser cut specialty paper. I don't know if you've ever used this before. Sometimes I'm a little intimidated, I have to say, about using this paper, but and I only have parts and pieces left because I've been using it, but it's really, really pretty. This is the Shimmer. It's called Shimmer Detailed Laser Cut Specialty Paper. And you get, let's see, you get 6 sheets, 3 each of 2 designs. And you'll get a great big sheet that's like this, but not cut off. This will be the 12 by 12 sheets. So you'll get, that's one of the designs. I apologize, I don't have enough heat. I've been using it, so I don't have all the full sheets. And then the other sheet has little, whoops, oh my goodness, went under my table, one moment. Okay, blooper reel. So the other one has all these pieces that are like card front size or focal point size, little tiny, you know, you can make little focal points on your cards and scrapbook pages. And I've used several pieces, but this is supposed to be a 12 by 12 sheet. And I've cut some pieces already. There's also a long strip on the side. You can see in the catalog on page 169, you'll have all of the different patterns you can see there. The thing I love about this paper is, I hope it catches it on here, probably not, but it's vanilla on one side and it's shimmery. So if you've gotten this paper in the past, they've had different versions in different catalogs, but this is the first time we've had a shimmery. I don't think it caught it on the camera, but trust me, it's kind of like the shimmery white paper that we have in the catalog if you've ever used that, only it's actually a little more shimmery than that. It's almost a pearlescent, very, very pretty tone. And then on the back is white. So I don't know if you can see the difference there. This is the vanilla shimmer and then the white. So it's two-toned, so you can use either side depending on what you're working on, whether you want whisper white or vanilla. So that's kind of fun. But I think some people, including myself, they're a little intimidated by it because it's not normal. It's a little, how do you adhere all of that? How do you layer it? Obviously it's see-through. We need to put something behind it. So how do we do all of that? So we're gonna give you a couple of ideas today on how you can use this beautiful paper. I love it. It's a laser cut design. So it's actually cut by a laser and it is really, it's detailed and it's intricate and just absolutely gorgeous. So we're gonna be using that today. And we're also going to be using another very similar version, and that is with the Bird Ballad. It's called Bird Ballad Laser Cut Cards and Tins. So it comes in this beautiful tin, and it's actually kind of a matte finish. It's a lovely tin. It's in the petal pink, and I think it has kind of a gold design on it. And then you open it up, and it has these beautiful laser cut cards inside. And the whole front is a laser cut piece. So there's lots of fun things you can do with that. You could cut off this piece and just use it by itself. You can put some cardstock behind it if you wanted to, just to give you an idea. All these little pieces stick together, but you could put some cardstock behind it. That's just petal pink. It's not even going to show up very well. Anyway, lots of different ways to use it. I'm going to have a project that we're going to do with that to show how cool you can create something. And then, so you get 12, let's see, yes, 12 cards, and they're all the same design. And then you also get these beautiful envelopes with this scallop edge to them. So this all comes in a kit. It's $18 for 12 card bases. And really, I mean, they're so beautiful. You can just put a sentiment on there, put a little bit of ribbon, just not even very much. They're just really pretty on their own. So we're going to dress them up a little bit. I'll show you how we can do that. But this is just a really fun kit to do something a little fancy and a little different. Okay, so that's the Bird Ballad Laser, I keep forgetting the name, Bird Ballad Laser Cut Cards and Tin. Okay, so we're going to work on that today. I guess we're ready to point the camera down and get started with our project. So hold on a minute while we move the camera. Enjoy my ceiling. Turn our lights on here. We'll get started. I wanted to also mention that if you are interested in placing an order with me for this month, we're on a brand new month, so we have a brand new host code, and the host code is VKYP. This is a 2, number 2, CQ6, and this month we're going to give you some designer elements. I completely forgot to bring them over here. So let me see if I have some real close. I think I do. I do have them right here. We used some on a project recently. These are beautiful. They're I was going to say metallic, but they're really metal. They're very heavy. They're perfect for masculine cards, and you get a whole sheet of them in copper, silver, and gold styles. So this is with a $75 minimum order, and you'll get that for free when you place an order in August, but you got to use that host code. So I'm going to keep that up there so you can write that down as we're going along. And you can shop at toocoolstamping.com. Just click on the Shop Now link there, and it'll take you right to my store page. Okay, let's get started on our first project. We're going to work with that beautiful Shimmer detailed laser cut paper. And we're going to do kind of a different fold on that today. So we're going to start with a Whisper White card base, and this is just a standard size, so it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it's just a quarter sheet, so no fold or anything, just a card base. So we'll put that aside. For a background layer, we're going to use some So Saffron, and this is going to layer right over the top of that, so it's going to be a 4 by 5 1/4 piece, and I already embossed it with the subtle embossing folder. I'm telling you right now, I use this folder all the time. If you don't have the subtle embossing folder, you are missing out. This is a must-have. I use it for so many things, and it just adds that little extra something to your cards that would normally just be plain. So I'm going to add that to the background, and because it has a little bit of texture, I like to use tear and tape. So I'm just going to add a little bit of tear and tape here to the top and bottom. And I'll also add some snail adhesive. Now, a lot of people have said that they have trouble when they are trying to pull the backing paper off of the tear and tape when it's on a texture. That is definitely true. You want to make sure it's nice and secure. Push it down, and then grab a hold of the corner. And if you have trouble maybe getting, sometimes you get underneath the adhesive and you're pulling the whole thing off, try the side, or try, if you have a piercing tool or take your pick tool, sometimes you can use that to get underneath there and it'll work a little better. But the really big key is to push that down and make sure every part of it is adhered. That will help it. Okay, so here's our background layer, and we'll just center that on top. Now we're going to, for the actual card base, we're going to use a little flap that's also with the Whisper White Thick. I don't know if I mentioned, but this, I use the Whisper White Thick for this background because it is a card base and I like the sturdiness of the thick cardstock. So this is also Whisper White Thick, and it's cut, let's see, it's 10 1/2 by 2 1/2. Let me make sure. Yes, 2 1/2. And then I just scored in the center at the 5 1/4 mark. So that's going to be our card opening part. And we'll just crease that a little bit. Before we put that down, I want to add a little bit of stamping. And on this card, I'm going to use a set I haven't used yet, and that is the Parcels and Petals stamp set. I was really excited to use this one. Such a pretty, distinctive, detailed design here, some coordinating borders, and some really nice sentiments. And this is designed, I think it has some dies that go with it that go with our little mini shipping box, and it creates a little box, lots of box accents. So that's really fun. So we're going to start out with some Mango Melody ink, and we're going to use that pretty border and just add that to the inside. So before we adhere it to our card base, I want to decorate the inside a little bit, just in case I mess up. Not that that would ever happen. So I'll just stamp that along the side, or along the bottom there, as a little border. And while I'm at it, I might as well add the inside sentiment. So that I'm going to add with Memento ink. And the inside's going to say, "You're the best." So we'll put that on there. You're the best. Okay. Then we're going to add that to our card base. And again, because this is going to have some open and shut action happening, I'm going to add just a little bit of tear and tape to make it nice and secure so it doesn't fall off the card base. And we'll add that to the top of our card base. Make sure I have it in the center here. And then that is our background. So it's kind of a fun, I love this opening, just a little bit different, fits in a standard envelope. Now let's decorate the front, and we're going to decorate it with more of the So Saffron. This is a 2 1/4 by 5 piece. Again, it's embossed with that subtle texture, just to give it a little bit of something. Then we're going to add that beautiful laser paper. So this is what we're going to do. I actually cut a little piece out of the 12 by 12 section, and you could use you can really kind of see the difference now with the vanilla shimmer. Can you see that shimmer? So beautiful. I actually want to use the white side. The white does not have a shimmer, but it is still very gorgeous, and so that's the side I'm going to use. And I'm going to adhere this, I'm going to use a sponge, and I like to use my little silicone mat because it makes it really easy for cleanup. So let me move some of my pieces off of here. So we're going to have the silicone mat. We're going to have just a little pie-shaped piece of our sponge. And we're going to put a little bit of Tombow glue in the corner here. And we're going to use a little scrap piece too, just to keep our work surface nice and clean. So I'm going to bring a scrap piece in, and I'm going to put the adhesive on that vanilla shimmery side. I can't believe we're going to cover that up, but we are. And I'm just going to dab some of this off, so it's just really light coating of the snail, or it's not snail, the Tombow, and very carefully, gently sponge that adhesive. Now when it gets really sticky, you got to be very careful with some of these pieces that are delicate. They could stick to the sponge and rip. So you just kind of want to, don't do it really fast, just kind of roll it on there a little bit. And the nice thing about using this craft sheet is you can either wash this off with tap water now, or you can let it dry and you can just kind of roll it off with your finger. It just peels right off. And I just keep a little sponge. You can rinse this out if it's wet so that you can get most of the adhesive out. If it happens to dry on there, I just keep it, and you can reuse it for a long time before it gets too gummy not to be used. So I love both of these as a way to add this beautiful paper. All right, now we're going to add all of this. Now once you've put all of that adhesive on, you want to get rid of this because that is going to get all over your projects otherwise, and we don't want that to happen. So we have our piece here. We're going to add this lovely paper over the top and press it down. And then we're just going to take our scissors, our paper snips, and just cut all of the trim, all the edges off here so that everything's flush. Now this might get your scissors just a teeny bit gummed up, and that is so annoying when you're trying to cut something and you have all kinds of stickiness on your paper snips. I'm going to show you in a minute a really easy tip for cleaning your blades. Of course, you can always use Goo Gone or something like that, but I find that that's really messy and kind of smelly and greasy. So I was trying to find a better way. Isn't that beautiful? Can you see that? Oh, I hope the camera's picking that up because that is gorgeous. All right. So let me show you just real quick, get some of these little pieces off. These are kind of sticky too, so hopefully we won't hurt our projects. So now I have, it's kind of gummy on here. You can actually see some things stuck to it. So in the past, Stampin' Up! Has had this as a product, and they don't anymore, but you can still get it somewhere. It's just an adhesive remover, and this is like a miracle worker. When I figured this out, it was just brilliant. You just want to run very carefully that adhesive remover over each of the blades, and if you're really gummed up, you might have to do it many times to roll that off, and just keep doing it in the same direction, not back and forth, just rolling the adhesive off of the end of the blades. And it just, even if it's gummed up, if you just keep working at it, sorry, it's making the camera go crazy, but it actually cleans them very well, and you don't have to mess with any of that horrible Goo Gone or undo or whatever that a lot of people use to get that off. So that's just a quick tip. I would imagine you can find these adhesive removers. They look really gross after you used them for years and years, but you can find them probably in any, I don't know, art store like a Michael's, or I'm not really sure where they're at. You can probably look on Amazon. I'm sure they're out there, but they're so handy, and once you buy one, you never need one again, which is probably why Stampin' Up! Doesn't have it anymore, because it's not a consumable item. So anyway, okay, back to our project. We have this beautiful layer to put on the front. Again, we're going to put that on with a little bit of tear and tape with that texture. A little bit of snail down the sides. All right, let's see, how do I want it? Maybe like this. And that looks so pretty. So there is our card background. And then we just need a little focal point, and I have just the thing for that. We're going to use this really pretty trio of flowers here. And we're going to start by stamping, let's see. We're going to stamp in the So Saffron ink. This is kind of, when it gets kind of humid in my basement, I've noticed that I get some foaming on my stamps. I'm going to see how bad this is. It's pretty foamy. Let's try something a little different here. You could use a Stampin' Write marker and just color on the inside of each of the piece. Actually, I'm just going to stamp off once. That's really foamy for some reason. I think it's just because my basement is kind of humid, and it kind of reacts with the ink sometimes, or I just have too much ink on my ink pad. So now I'm going to use the Mango Melody, a little bit darker, and I'm going to use a Stampin' sponge dauber and just add a little bit of that darker color all around the edges of the flower, and also on all those little dots. Okay, we'll see how this looks. I don't know how that ink's going to come out, but we will see. So I've already cut out, die cut, a stitched shapes circle here, and I'm just going to stamp that over the top. There we go, really pretty. I love that two-toned look. It almost looks like a watercolor. And we want to add a sentiment as well. So we're going to add the birthday cheer to you all year from that same stamp set. we'll add this with the Memento black ink. And we're just gonna kind of put it right in the middle of all of that. I love how that's looking. And then we'll add it to our front here. And I think I'm just gonna have it, I mean, we could put it right on that flap or up here. I think I'm gonna put it down here, and I'm gonna have it a little bit off. So when I pop it up with dimensionals, I wanna make sure that I don't have any dimensionals under that side. So in order to make sure I don't hit that, I'm just gonna take it and flip it like this, so I know exactly how much is gonna be hanging over. And then add a few dimensionals. And put that right on there. And then one more thing before we are done. Of course, I have to add some kind of little sparkle to it. And I'm gonna add some of the Gingham Gala sequins, the adhesive back sequins in yellow. I haven't used a lot of these yellows, so this will be perfect. And we're just gonna add one of these as a little flower center for each one of these flowers, just for a little eye-catching sparkle. And there we go. So a really bright and cheery card for your birthday. I love that little sparkle. I did this in a couple of other colors. I was really having fun with it, actually. So one of the colors that I tried was Petal Pink. So we had the Petal Pink background, and then for the flowers I used a Petal Pink, stamped the whole thing in Petal Pink, and then sponged on Flirty Flamingo. Petal Pink and Flirty Flamingo blend together beautifully, and they are so pretty and delicate and soft. I love that color combination. And then I used the same Gingham Gala sequins, and that they're kind of an iridescent with a little bit of Flirty Flamingo, a little bit of Grapefruit Grove, a little bit of Petal Pink all in there. So you can really use them with a lot of different colors in that same range. So I love that. So I finished that the same way with some Flirty Flamingo border. And then I tried it in the Purple Posy, and the background is the Purple Posy cardstock. And then I did a Purple Posy marker, and actually no, I think I did Purple Posy marker, and then because we don't have the ink yet, and then I sponged on the Seaside spray for that particular, and I love how that turned out. Can you see that? Oh, so pretty. And then I used the blue sequins from that same Gingham Gala, and on the inside of this one I used another one of the little images that you can find in that stamp set as a little more delicate border along the bottom. So those are my 3 cards that I created. What do you think? Do you like that style? Which color do you like the best? I really had so much fun with this, and I like this stamp set so much more than I even thought that I would. And I really love pairing it with that beautiful laser cut paper. So that's our first card that I wanted to show you. Now this one I'm not going to show you how to do, but I wanted to show you another example of how you can use that beautiful paper. We actually used the vanilla shimmery side on this. Hopefully the light is picking up on that because it is gorgeous. So I paired that with Very Vanilla as a frame. The background is gray granite. It just looks so awesome with this one. And I used the gray granite woven, I can't remember that, woven ribbon. I can't remember the name of it. I don't remember. I just need to stop. Anyway, and then I did another circle in Very Vanilla. I used the Butterfly Gala stamp set for the sentiment. And then I can't remember the name of the other one. Beauty Abounds. Beauty Abounds for these little tiny butterflies. And then the coordinating dies that go with the Beauty Abounds have these little teeny tiny die cut butterflies. They're just adorable. And those are in the gray granite as well. And if you look closely, my bling is just that I added a little wink of Stella on those butterflies to match the beautiful shimmer in the background. Didn't that turn out so awesome? Just a nice neutral, there's an elegance to it. I really love it. Sometimes you just like to go neutral and not do the color. Now, of course, I had to do a too cool version. So my second version is kind of an opposite color combination. So I started with a thick vanilla card base. I had the thick, or just the regular vanilla for the background, a little matte layer in the gray granite, and then I kept with that beautiful vanilla shimmer side, so it's vanilla on vanilla tone, and I just thought that looked really, really elegant. I put some of the scallop lace trim around it. That's also very vanilla, so it looks really pretty with that. And I used the stitched nested labels dies, one of the smaller ones, with the, let's see, I think that came from, I think it's Beauty Abounds, again, that sentiment. And then those little butterflies that I stamped, you can die cut it with the coordinating dies, little teeny tiny guys up here, and again with a little bit of wink of Stella on each of the little butterflies. And I forgot to mention that I actually put a little tiny bit of wink of Stella on the thanks. I just ran the very tip of that brush right along the sentiment. So I'm hoping that you can see that, but it's just a little tiny bit of sparkle. So elegant. I love elegant cards. So that is just another way that you can use that beautiful paper. You can also use sponging to put color on the paper. I didn't try that. I didn't have enough time to do all of that for this particular class, but you could sponge color onto the paper. You could use it as a mask to sponge color through the paper. So lots of different ways that you can use it. Now, another thing that we have in the catalog, as I mentioned earlier, is the Bird Ballad laser tin, cards and tins, and I showed you those. So you get all of these 12 different, or 12 cards. They're not different. They're all the same. So we're going to use that for the second card that I'm going to do. And I just had to show you this because every time I look at this tin, I want to wrap it with this beautiful petal pink ribbon. This organdy ribbon, I haven't used it enough yet, but it just looks like it needs to have a great big bow on top of that. So I just had to mention that because I thought it was cool. All right, for the second set of cards, we're going to start with this as our card base, but we're going to add to it and make it a trifold card base. I got this idea. I saw it, Kim Hollenbach, one of my team members, was showing how you could dress these cards up and make it into a trifold. So I thought that was such a fun idea. I wanted to try it myself. So I started with a soft seafoam card base. It's just a standard card base. I did trim off just a slight, like 1/8 of an inch, that will help the card fold up and lay flat. So you want to short just a little tiny bit off of that edge, and you're going to fold it, or you're going to close it the opposite way than you normally would with a card. And we're going to put this like this and make a trifold so we have a really pretty color peeking through that laser cut. So let's start by putting the cards together. I already have a little bit of tear and tape on there, and you probably want to put it around all of the edges, but we're going to try to save some time here. Okay, so we're going to add this to the center of this card. Just going to put it right up against that score line, that fold. Oops, I'm having trouble seeing it very well because of the camera, but we're going to try it again. Okay. I got to do it this way so I can see it a little better. All right. Make sure that those kind of match up. All right, now we have our Trifold card and we can start decorating. Okay, so first of all, I want to make a focal point. And I'm going to use since we're talking about the Bird Ballad tin, I wanted to use the Coordinating Free as a Bird stamp set. So we'll be using that. And I'm just going to start out with, now here it is, losing my stamps. I'm going to use a sentiment from there that says, "Your friendship means the world to me." And again, this is a very vanilla piece that I cut out. It's the same size circle I used for the other with the Stitch Shapes framelits. And I'll just add that sentiment. And then I'm going to add some leaves from that stamp set, and we'll do that in that soft sea foam. We're going to add some up here and also underneath. Then we'll use a little scrap piece of Very Vanilla, and we're going to decorate a couple of flowers. So we're going to stamp with the Memento black and just have a couple of these pretty flowers. And I just realized, oh no, I was changing it. I'm going to use some different colors here. I kind of forgot what colors I was using on this because I'm changing it from my original card that I made as a sample. So I'm using some kind of similar colors than I did with this card. We used that Petal Pink and Flirty Flamingo. So I'm going to use, this is the light Flirty Flamingo, this is the dark Petal Pink, and this is the dark Flirty Flamingo. Yep. And we're also going to use the Crumb Cake, but that will be a little bit later. So I'm going to start by adding some Petal Pink to each of the flowers. Just color the whole thing in with Petal Pink. And I'm using the brush tip end just because it lays down the color really quickly, but you have to be nice and soft when you're coloring with that so you don't ruin the nib. Then we're going to add in some light Flirty Flamingo right around the edges. Give it some dimension. And a little bit of dark Flirty Flamingo right in the center. Give it some dark right in the center. All right. And we could do some extra blending if we wanted to make that a little more smooth, but I'm just going to go with that. I think it looks pretty nice. And then I'm just going to freehand cut this because there is no die that goes with this, but it doesn't matter. We're going to just keep our blades pointed upward, and we're just going to kind of drive that image around with our left hand, and it goes pretty quickly. All right, so there's one. I should have these cut out already, but it doesn't take too much time. All right. Let's just cut that off so it's out of the way. The thing I was finding about putting these cards together is that once, and it happens all the time with me, once I start making something in one color and it turns out so well, I want to try it in another color. That's kind of how my two cool versions started, is because I couldn't make a decision about what color I wanted to do it, so I would just do two versions. Well, sometimes I do 5 or 6 versions. So that's just how it is. All right, so this is going to be our focal point, and I want to put that on top of here, but I don't want to have anything showing through on the back. So that makes it a little bit trickier, but we can handle that. I'm actually going to use a circle that I die cut. It's a scallop circle with the layering circles dies. And I'm going to use a little piece that's the petal pink. It's 1.5 by 3.5. I'm going to cut that into a banner shape. So I go up the center and then corner to center to make that banner. Cut. All right. Before we put any of those on, let me show you how I'm going to put this on. So we don't want the adhesive to show. So how are we going to get that on there? We can't use the sponging like we did before because we're going to have a bunch of overlap, because you can't just put it on the back of this. You can't just put it on here. You don't exactly know where the circle's going to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up. I'm going to get another little scrap piece of paper just to keep my work surface clean. And then I'm going to use some more of that Tombow liquid glue, and I'm just going to dab. Just have a little tiny bit. Oh, come on out. Check it before you, make sure it's coming out okay before you have a big blob on your piece. And see, I'm just putting a couple of little tiny dabs all the way around this circle on the front, because I know that that scallop is going to cover that part. And I put this scrap piece under just in case there's any extra that's going to ooze out, or if I dabbed a little bit off. And then I'm going to just set that right in the middle there and hold it in place for a moment, and that's going to be just enough that it will adhere. Now you could also use, I use the Tombow, the green cap glue, but you could also use the fine tip glue pen. That's a really awesome choice. All right, so again, we had a little bit that oozed out. It's sticking just a tad to our paper, but that's okay. We're going to get rid of that. And then here's another little tip. Since we had a little ooze out, we're going to have a little tiny bit of sticky there. So I'm going to use my embossing buddy, and I'm just going to dab that. We're just adding some resin powder to take away that sticky, so we're not going to have it stick to the inside of our card. And that's all there is to it. So I love that you can see through that. It has a really pretty design there, and then we have a nice focal point. So now we can add our, let's see, now we can add, I'm going to put, actually just put snail right here on our piece. We're going to add this banner strip to the top of it, and then we can add our sentiment with some dimensionals over here. And we'll add our flowers on the top of that. So we have our two little flowers. We'll use some glue dots for those. And whoops, I didn't get the dot off. There we go. Remember to stick your piece right onto that glue dot so you don't even have to touch the glue. There we go. So that looks pretty. We need to add a little bling to it, of course. We're going to use some basic pearls. And let's see, I think I want to make them the dark flirty flamingo color. Let's see what that looks like. We're just going to take that brush tip and just kind of go around it really delicately. We don't want to hurt that nib. And we'll get two of those. You could use your take your pick tool, remember. I really like the piercing tool. No longer available, unfortunately. but that way, look at that. That just finishes it off perfectly. I love that. So now you can actually decorate the inside a little bit if you want to. I'm going to show you one that I've already done. I did one in a similar design. This time, of course, I used the soft sea foam, but I put pool party and did pool party flowers, the little pearls, which actually I need to add one more, it looks like. I did the pearls with the dark crumb cake, and so it kind of makes it look almost like a, I don't know, it's just a really soft tan color. And then for this one, I added another stitched circle on the inside, and I stamped with that really pretty, all these birds. I stamped with that across the front in the soft sea foam and put a little greeting, thanks for being you. And then the inside, I added some more leaves so you could write a lovely little letter. I hope the camera's picking that up. It seems like it's really light, so hopefully you can see that detail on there. But that's one way that you can finish it. I also did another version using the Free as a Bird, and this time I used that larger bird image, colored that in with some Stampin' Blends, put a little bit of Wink of Stella on him to make him sparkle and shine, added some more of those pearls that I colored with the dark crumb cake, a little banner across the front in crumb cake, pool party for the scallop, pool party for the background layer, and then I added another little sentiment on the inside with some pretty matching yellow flowers, and then a little thanks for being you on the inside. So lots of fun ways that you could dress these up. These are just some very simple ways. You could really go to, you know, really put some ribbon and everything on there to make it look awesome and beautiful. But I just thought this was a really fun way that you could decorate these cards. And again, thank you to Kim Hollenbach for letting me see this beautiful tri-card technique. I thought that was a really awesome way to be using this tin of cards. And I think that's all we have for this week. I hope that you guys have really enjoyed having some fun with the laser paper and some different ways that you can use all of those papers. It's fun to just explore and see what kind of fun you can have with them. I appreciate you joining me this week. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedules, and I look forward to talking to you next week, showing you some awesome Too Cool projects at our next live class, Thursdays, every Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And I hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.